All right, guys, welcome to another video. I'm excited for this one. This one's a little bit different. I have my brother Matt joining me from Pittsburgh, who just started basically driving again for Uber Eats. So Matt, what is going on?
Hey guys, obviously I'm a big fan of Mike's channel. I've seen it grow and I've seen all of you guys support him. It's been going really well. I've kind of rediscovered the Uber Eats driver platform. I was kind of on a hiatus doing a whole bunch of other things, and I'm so happy to be back, and I think we're going to tell you why.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time. I know we're both busy. Digging the space background you got going on there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is my office, and finally got it all set up.
And just let everyone know, where were you calling in from?
So I'm in basically 10 minutes outside of downtown Pittsburgh, PA.
Very good. And hopefully the sound's coming in okay, guys. I'm taking a pit stop in National City here in San Diego, just to give you guys some heads up. So thanks for being here. So let's just jump right into it. Matt, again, like you mentioned, he just got back in to Uber Eats, right? You just got back into driving?
Yeah, so obviously that's the really cool thing with rideshare, with delivery, with Uber. You could literally pick it up from not doing it for a week or a few years, whatever it happens to be. And I just started, and I think it's been at least 6 months, 12 months. I had a lot of changes in my life, all good, but back into it.
Great. Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, Matt's a proud homeowner there in Pittsburgh, PA. I can't say the same here in San Diego, guys, but congrats to him. He's been in that home for some time now. So you're driving again. It's been a year or so, you said, on Uber Eats. What kind of vehicle are you driving?
I have a Jeep Compass.
A Jeep Compass, okay. So the Jeeps, it's not the best miles per gallon. Do you know the miles per gallon on that?
I would say 20. I have no idea.
That's fair. Okay. But the thing is guys, talking to Matt, is even with a, moderate miles per gallon vehicle, we saw some very surprising numbers driving on Uber Eats. And that's why I wanted to bring Matt on here, because this is encouraging. So tell me a little bit about when you first went online, what did you see in the Pittsburgh market?
Yeah, so without a doubt, I think we all have been experiencing the outcomes of this pandemic, of all these changes that are happening. But if you're a rideshare driver, it could greatly affect your city. I mean, in Pittsburgh, we saw, and I know it's a little different around city to city, restaurants were closing, so they could only do takeout. And when I went online, you can imagine, you can think to yourself, the days where you made the most money, and it's probably because the entire city or maybe your town or whatever it happens to be was surging and everything was lit up in red all day long.
Yeah. And guys, if you're not familiar with what that term is, surging, it's basically a pay incentive to you as a driver. Back in the day, Uber used to have a multiplier. They would multiply your pay by a certain amount. Now it's kind of what you've seen here on DoorDash. It's a per delivery bonus. So again, let me direct this back to you. So when you went online, I'm not sure what day it was. Was it a Friday or whatever it was? What was the map? What did the map look like when you went online?
Yeah, so I just want to say real quick, it goes without saying that if you are considering driving, and I'll give you my recommendations, but number one, you want to be safe, and there's a lot of ways to do that. But whenever I went online, so like Mike was saying, and like I said, I'm picking things back up, so I'm still seeing red and calling it a surge. But what it is, like what Mike said, it's a delivery bonus, and the bonus was happening everywhere. So typically you have your hot spots. You have where maybe there's a college campus or where people typically order from because there's a lot of restaurants. Right. Every inch of Pittsburgh happened to have that bonus.
Okay. And guys, we were talking about this a little bit. Pittsburgh is a medium or small, medium-sized market. I mean, I can think of how expansive, San Diego is here. So what do you think caused it to be so busy? Because, guys, we'll put some screenshots up here if we can about how insanely slammed Pittsburgh was. Why do you think that was?
Well, without a doubt, we have to look at everything happening with this health crisis going on and restaurants finding a way to stay alive. And a lot of them are forced to move to deliveries. And on the flip side, a lot of uh, people in these cities, they don't want to drive. So you have less drivers on the road. So when you have more demand and less drivers, Uber and many other platforms have to incentivize those of us who are willing to drive safely.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, it's the whole landscape, with this pandemic, restaurants having to push to delivery only. Now, granted, some of these places are starting to reopen, but that combined with maybe the fear, I mean, we can call it what it is, the fear of some drivers to say, hey, I don't want to get out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the choice that we have. In the past, I know in March when things were looking, well, there are a lot of unanswered questions. We There was a stay-at-home order. Now, I don't know enough to comment on that, whether Uber and delivery drivers were deemed essential, which is what we've heard, essential workers being nurses and police officers and things like that. But people need to eat, and restaurants surely need to stay open. And I know that I think Ubers were still happening. I believe deliveries were still happening.
Yeah, and I can comment on that, guys. Again, Matt's just really excitedly getting back into Uber Eats here. But in general, you guys are essential workers. The DoorDash app and the Postmates app, at least here in California, I don't want to paint with too wide of a brush. They have deemed that you are an essential worker and that you are able to be out after curfews as well. Now, there's some more information in there about what happens if you're stopped after curfew. And again, things are reopening. Hopefully, we're not looking at closures, but I want to get back to the earnings here. So that first day that you drove, said it was all red, those great earnings incentives. Let's talk about some of the numbers. So firstly, what kind of bonuses were out there as far as dollar wise? And then tell me what you were earning, per delivery, how were the tips? Let's get into some of the numbers.
Yeah, 100%. It's probably what everyone's waiting to hear. And it's okay. So, in my opinion, guys, if you decide to drive and you do it safely, there's never been a better time to drive. So the bonuses were up to $9 from what I remember on a steady basis, $4 to $5 per delivery. On average, I was making $35, $37 every hour, like clockwork. And you can easily start racking up the money, which I think we talked about. I started on a Friday. And just so that everyone knows, these numbers are happening during the week. I've driven 4 hours after work because I'm so excited, like Mike said, during the week, and it's still $35 plus an hour, which is insane.
Yeah, guys, I told you, back in the day, when Matt and I would drive Uber in Pittsburgh, especially those early years, it was on fire. And we were talking about, weekday evenings. It wasn't even on the weekends, and we were making crazy money. So if you're not active on Uber Eats, or maybe it's been a while, go in there, see how the app is doing in your marketplace. And I think this is really encouraging because, we're seeing big numbers in different markets. I'm just coming to you guys from San Diego. But if Matt's seeing a lot of success on Uber Eats in Pittsburgh, it's a small, medium-sized market, then, don't discount your market as well. Look at some of the numbers, at least go in there, and see what the map's doing and see how the pay incentives are going. So it looks like, again, you said, $4 or $5 per delivery bonuses regularly, upwards of $9.50 or so. This was most of the day, weekdays. Do you remember how much you made on that first day and how many hours did you drive?
On the first day, I remember my total weekend numbers.
Sure.
I know the second day, guys, I think it was $390. And then that whole weekend, I made $490. I drove however many hours it comes to where it's
Right.
$35 an hour.
Right.
That's what I did. So it's $35 honestly for as long as I wanted to drive and make that money.
Yeah, guys. Like Matt just said, I believe the number was close to 500. And we'll put up some screenshots if we can of those hours. But again, it equaled 30 ish some dollars an hour. So well, that's fantastic. That's excellent. And I know Matt and I talking. He's really excited to get. He was out there today, right?
Yeah, I was out there today. That's the cool thing about Uber. You can do it part-time whenever you want. If you're significant other or whatever situation you may be in, is if you have some free time, if you have an hour, if you have 2 hours, if you have a whole weekend, you can get out there.
Okay, so the numbers sound pretty good, in Pittsburgh. First weekend, close to $500. So tell me a little bit about your strategy going forward. I mean, you just went into this. The numbers are looking really good. That was your first weekend. And I mean, you're mentioning, hey, I'm excited. I'm going to get out there as much as I can. It sounds like, what's your strategy to take advantage of this going forward? And how long do you think it's going to last?
Yeah, that's a really tough question. I don't know if I have an answer for how long it's going to last. I think what I would tell people is take advantage of it while it's happening. I mean, I have no idea how long it's going to last, but those are the numbers, at least in my market. Like Mike said, just take a look at the app. I thought maybe this was only a weekend type of demand. It's happening all the time. So my tips for people, I just started Uber Eats. I've done Uber in the past, like Mike mentioned. So I made a lot of mistakes as a first-time delivery driver. So a few things, just real quick. If you have one of those insulated bags for the food to keep it warm and fresh, I would get it. It's kind of a courtesy thing. Yes, you could do it without it, but it really makes you a pro and just gives you better tips, I believe, if you have it. Number two, whenever I accept orders, it shows you where the restaurant and the customer would be. So, but if you're on a ride, you can't see that information. You're going to get requests for deliveries, but you're not going to see where the customer is. You're going to have an address, but unless you know that exact address, you're not going to know the distance. So you may accept it thinking, oh, I'm going to make more money, but then you could drive 25 minutes away to deliver an iced tea. So my tips would be to turn off that request during the ride, and then after you deliver your food, you can turn it back on just so you can have that choice. And you can see on the map, is it really worth my time, just given the distance and things like that.
Well, that's massive. And that's actually different than DoorDash. Guys, if you didn't listen to this, Matt just said he was unable to see it was a stacked delivery. It was a batch delivery while he was on a current order. He could not see the starting and ending destination. That is different than DoorDash, guys. DoorDash shows you if you're going to get another order, a stacked request, it'll say X amount of dollars for X amount of additional miles. So that is a big tip. You may want to consider that, guys. If you don't want to risk getting a stacked order that's really far away, then you may want to turn that feature off. That's a great point. Well, hey, I know Matt has to run here. I know we're both very busy. I appreciate you taking some time. So let's leave everyone with kind of one more thing here. It sounds like the numbers have been fantastic for you. The earnings incentives are really good. Do you have any other tips for someone that's thinking about doing the delivery? Because again, it's been a year or so since you've done this. What would you say to somebody that's thinking about doing this as a side hustle?
Absolutely. So we all have goals, whether it's to save up for a big purchase or maybe pay down some debt or just get ahead. The number one thing I would say, guys, is give yourself a number and just, even if it's one day a week, you're contributing towards that goal. Have a goal. Buy yourself something awesome. Treat yourself once you get to that magical number. I know I have some goals in my mind. I want to buy a brand new car. I want to pay down a little bit of my debt. And this is an amazing time to drive. Take advantage of it. It's so much fun. You can have fun doing it, and you're getting out there, you're helping people. You're doing it a safe way, and the restaurants have you in mind. So that's another big tip. Remember that. So there's a safe way to do things, and it's been paying off big time, and it's really making me happier, and I'm able to provide for my girlfriend and have this wonderful life, and it gives you that security.
Yeah, guys, those are great words. this is hopefully, the ultimate side hustle for you. I mean, this gig economy. You don't want to leave any stone unturned, guys. There could be big money out there. You just don't realize it because you're not active on Uber Eats. You're not active on DoorDash. There could be massive incentives. And it could be going on right this second in your marketplace, but you don't know because you're not activated. At least, guys, download these apps, get activated, and just see. You don't even have to drive if you don't want to drive. So fantastic points, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, if you want to see more tips, driving Uber Eats, especially right there in Pittsburgh, definitely leave a thumbs up on this video. Matt, thanks for joining from Pittsburgh, PA. And guys, make sure to check out the first link in my description. That is for my Amazon storefront, so you can get the best accessories for your side hustle. Again, guys, consider leaving a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and we will see you in the next one.